to our new segment.
Oh, oh,
Welcome to a new segment we're going to do on the balance sheet, and it's going to be outside of our podcast, and it's going to be called Have Some Shame. And what we're going to do is we're each going to pick somebody who's kind of frustrated us, pissed us off, made us mad as it relates to something in the scope of women's wrestling. And, one of my catchphrases locally here in my city at my cycle studio is I always say, have some shame. So somebody who actually listens to the podcast says, why don't you just do that as a segment on the podcast? So Michael, I'm going to give you credit here. So we're going to do this every week. We're going to give you our have some shame person, promotion, match, star rating. And yeah, and here we go. So I am going to kick it over to you, sir, and you're going to do your have some shame.
my first have some shame is about the easiest one I'm ever going to get. Triple H, TKO, have some shame. Sit there and every single show, PLE, especially during Mania season, we hear about record gates, record profits, record attendance, record money, record ratings, record everything. You're raking in cash. And I'm in the business world. I understand how a business is run. However, you continue to raise prices, the SummerSlam $40,000 package, and you are so proud of it. You put it in your fandom's face, and then on the other side, we have these continued budget cuts of the very wrestlers whose back the company is built off of, the ones who go in weekly and put their bodies at risk. And some of the women that got released this week were, not being used as much as maybe they should, and maybe it's better to let them go. But have some shame, man. You keep bragging about the profits, and then you do budget cuts. You do writer room budget cuts, and specifically a very women and LGBTQ plus, might I add, leaning for releases. I think you have no shame. So I'm going to say have some shame.
Okay, so I had a tweet. I did not watch SmackDown Live, and I saw somebody, I think the Twitter account is Patrick the Heel, and it was a woman who had colored hair doing a hip swivel with the title. And I thought it was like a Mercedes GIF. And then I went and I'm like, Zelina Vega, what is this? So my have some shame is Zelina Vega. You have historically been very anti-Mercedes Moné Sasha Banks. However, you have done everything but basically call yourself Sasha Banks. Like they used to do the fake cane or the fake diesel fake razor. Like you color your hair like her, you do the meteoras, you have the title and you do the hip swivel, like you almost like pose like her. And like I understand if you were paying homage to her because she was like your wrestling hero, that's one thing, but you have never been, at least from every interaction I've seen, a big fan of hers. But then to blatantly rip off all of her mannerisms and her moves and kind of the style she has, it's gross. And you got to have some shame. Be your own person. Be Zelina Vega. Be the best Zelina Vega you can be. And honestly, if you're going to rip off Mercedes Moné for the benefit of us as viewers, rip off how good she is in the ring. That at least is a positive for us, which, I'm not ever going to compare those two as wrestlers. So Zelina Vega, have some shame.